What's going on, everybody? Carson Spivey here with Assisted Living Facility Launch. In this video, I'm going to be showing you a sober living home tour breakdown. We're going to be talking through, stick to the end of this video because I'm going to be showing you the exact strategies that I'm using to get this home filled and to make $20,000 a month in revenue on this one property. So super excited to show you the home tour. As always, like and subscribe, and come on in, let's take a look. So at Assisted Living Facility Launch, I do help folks open and scale licensed residential assisted living facilities for the elderly, the intellectually and developmentally disabled, in addition to care agencies. So things like supported living, day programs, home care, so on and so forth. However, in this video, I want to show you a day in my life as an actual operator in my business. So not only are we helping folks get opened up nationwide, but here in San Diego County, I'm trying to make noise. I'm trying to make trying to make waves in the county for being one of the up and coming operators in the licensed and now non-licensed space. Okay, so in the end of this video, I'm going to be breaking down why ultimately I chose to do a sober living home on this house versus a licensed care model, and we're going to be breaking down the strategy to get it filled. But first and foremost, I know you guys are super curious to take a tour through the home, so we're going to be walking through our 8-bedroom home. It's 2 stories, and so let's get into it. Okay, so let's first come over to just one of the bedrooms right now. All the bedrooms are set up the same, so each one of these bedrooms is going to have 2 beds. The reason why there's going to be 2 beds is to just create a space and culture of accountability. The individuals that are going to be living in here are ultimately trying to excel in their sobriety, and so just having a roommate is going to really help hold them accountable. And so I got all the furniture off Amazon, really shopped the cheapest rates. We got the entire home furnished, a 16-bed home, entirely furnished for under $10,000. So was really stoked about that. And that's, including TVs, beds, hygiene products, everything for the kitchen and bathroom, so on and so forth. And so what I want to show you as well is that something that we're doing in our home that's not sort of required, but is just super awesome, is that everybody moving in is going to have hygiene products. And so when they're moving in here, sometimes they came from inpatient treatment, wherever they're coming from, they're going to be greeted with everything they need to just be hygienic and really be comfortable, as comfortable as possible while they're living here. We can show you we'll show you one more room, just so that you get the concept. But again, 2 beds, pretty clean. We got white linen so that they can just put in the washer and dryer and just pour bleach on it and be done. So 16 beds, it's going to be 4 bathrooms. So you can take a look in here. We had 2 walkthroughs this morning. Before people move in, we just got to do a final clean so that there's no dust. It's entirely spotless. But here's what the bathrooms look like. It's a newly remodeled home. And now, I'm excited to take you through the common areas. We got 2 more bedrooms that way. So the home's not 100% complete yet. So what's going to go right here, where you see this stuff, is we're going to have a desk, a computer, a printer. So the folks that are moving in here, sometimes they're trying to get jobs, and so we're going to make sure that they have everything that they need. Sometimes they're attending AA meetings, whether they're going to be going to those in person or they're going to be attending via Skype. We're going to make sure that they have everything they need here in order to do that. Okay, so in addition, now I know you think 16 people is a whole lot of people, and we only have 1 washer and 1 dryer. We wanted to get sort of like a stacked combo here, 2 each, but it's just going to come down to the schedules that we create. So right now, as we're doing the house tours, as we're getting people ready to move in, I'm diligently working on all the systems that is going to make this place operational. And so I'm going to be delegating a lot to the house manager that we decide to bring on, but part of that's going to be just laundry schedules. So each of these rooms are going to be numbered. Each of the beds are going to be numbered. Depending on those numbers is going to be when those individuals wash their laundry, so that it doesn't create any sort of conflict and sort of friction and tension in the home. Now, right here, you got one of the kitchens. This home's 2 stories. We got 2 kitchens with 2 refrigerators and 2 freezers. And then, yeah, I'll show you the backyard super briefly so that you can take a look. Cool. So what you can see right here, a couple of the things that we're doing just for privacy measures is we've got a shed right there. We're setting up trees on that side, and this was all gravel. We created this concrete wall sort of in the center of the home just to keep the space, centered toward the home. And just keep it super amicable with the neighbors. We got cornhole right there. We've got a water fountain right there and a beautiful view of San Diego County. So hopefully the people, they love living here. Cool. So a couple of the things that you're not seeing in here right now that we're going to get stood up, we're going to put a big old TV right here, and then in the common areas alone, we're going to have cameras. So a camera in that corner, and upstairs we're going to have another camera, again, just to promote accountability and make sure that these folks are successful in their sobriety. Again, they're here to get back on the right page. When it comes to locked doors, so we modded this home out to have one entrance point and one exit point, or I guess two, one in the back, one in the front. We have Yale alarm systems on there, so when someone moves out, it's important that we change the locks, and we can just do that via Wi-Fi. We can change the codes, get it sent out to everybody else, so that'll be a really good way to go about it. Now let's go upstairs. So this is a non-licensed home. So, really there was no sort of state inspections. There were no fire inspections. But the placement agencies who we're working with, which I'll break down at the end of this video, they did want to do house tours to make sure that, it's up to their standards. My goal was really to have only 2 people in each room, but if you see the room upstairs, it's massive. And so we put 3 beds in here. Honestly, we could put a 4th bed right here, but with 16 people in the home, we're just gonna, we're gonna test it as is. We don't want to overcrowd it. And then when we come over here, this is gonna be the second kitchen. So we're going to put a TV over there. We're going to put another indoor camera over here. All of these are going to be wired so that I'm not having to, come in every time a battery goes out to change it or charge it. And I think that's really all I wanted to show you. Super minimalist vibes right now. I'm sure as people move in, they're going to bring their own stuff, but we got everything from the silverware. We got, plastic, ceramic, plates and cups, just so that, eliminates things from breaking. But, guys, pretty straightforward, right? This is a real tour of a real sober living home from a real operator who's trying to expand his business. So yeah, right after this, stick around. I'm going to be breaking down exactly how we're getting this home filled and how we're making it a quote unquote sober living home. I'm going to give you guys some key insights in there that I really wish I had when I was starting, but I've just been spending the past 3 months, figuring it out on a daily basis. Again, calling key stakeholders in my county to figure out how this works. And, it's all coming together really quickly. So super excited to break it down so that you don't have to go through the same pitfalls that I've gone through, which set my timeline back a little bit, probably about 3 weeks to a month, but I could have made $20,000 in that month. So go ahead and stick around to that, and appreciate you checking out the home. All right, everybody. So now that we walked through the home, I do want to give a little bit of context to how this opportunity came about, why we stood it up as a sober living home, because obviously I'm a huge advocate for, licensed group homes, licensed assisted living, residential assisted livings. So why did we go ahead and do the sober living route? And then I'm going to be breaking down the exact strategy that we are using to, get this home filled and operational. Okay. So basically how this opportunity came about was, I got connected with a large real estate investor here in San Diego County, mostly does a lot of student housing. So he's already, a big proponent for co-living situations. He buys a lot of properties by San Diego State University, adds ADUs. So he's a big, ADU developer, and then gets them filled with co-living, student housing sort of situations. Now this property right here, so his sister you know, his sister has an intellectual, / developmental disability. And so, it was kind of like a mission driven project. When he got this home, he, initially wanted to set it up as, special needs housing. And we got connected because in San Diego, I'm the guy. I set up, housing for assisted living facilities for individuals with intellectual and or developmental disabilities. Kind of that's my main business, right? And so we got connected, we're talking. I checked out the home, and there's a bunch of reasons why I'm like, hey, this is the route that you should go versus an adult residential facility. So first and foremost, this home is absolutely massive. And in the state of California, you cannot license, a residential facility for the intellectually or developmentally disabled past 6 beds. And this is an 8-bedroom home. And so, first and foremost right there, I'm like, okay, like I don't even know how it's going to necessarily work with that model. You could even have live-in staff, that's fine. But it was his timeline. So, we were talking in late December, we're in March now. He wanted this home up and running, operational and cash flowing in 3 months. And I said, based on your timeline, a licensed model, we're going to have to go through the state approvals. I work extremely quickly, but working as fast as I can, we are still subject to the timelines of the state of California's approvals and, the local San Diego regional center's approvals. And so, with that said, if you want to hit your timeline, we're going to have to do a non-licensed model. And so in addition, given the size of the home, given its timeline, it's also perfectly located, right? So with a sober living home, you want it, or a transitional, independent living home, you want it to be in a very, dense urban area next to lots of public transportation, next to different outpatient treatment centers, next to a lot of different job opportunities. This home, if you're familiar with San Diego County, it is in one of the most dense urban parts of San Diego. It's near SDSU. It's between El Cajon Boulevard and University off of College Ave. Just perfectly conveniently located to tons of public transportation, tons of outpatient treatment centers, tons of different job opportunities. And so then it was time to run the numbers, right? And so I'm like, when it comes to getting this sort of model stood up, at the time, I didn't know exactly how much it's going to be, per individual per bed. With a, licensed adult residential facility, like the rates now in 2025 are $13,000 per individual per bed. And I know that piques a lot of people's ears. But in addition, this guy is a super, super busy real estate investor, commercial broker. So a licensed care facility for his bandwidth was going to be a lot operationally. And so that was even another reason why I was like, maybe you should run a non-licensed model, because we're more providing housing than 24/7 line of sight supervision and care with activities of daily living, a full payroll, so on and so forth. So all of those reasons pushed us to do a sober living home. Okay. So when I started doing my research, in the area for, non-licensed independent living facilities sort of situations, the private pay rates are about $800, per individual per month. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, here I am going from $13,000 per individual per month to $800. I'm like, well, okay, my expenses are going to be lower because I'm not going to have a payroll. We're not feeding the folks that are living here. We're more so providing housing, utilities, Wi-Fi, and cleaning supplies. And so I'm like, well, my expenses are going to be much lower, but how can I get past that $800 per individual per month? So I was doing my research, pretty much figured out that, okay, the strategy that I'm going to go about doing is partnering with Medi-Cal funded outpatient treatment centers. And so if you're in other states, then, it'd be Medicaid funded outpatient treatment centers. And the reason why I'm doing this particular strategy is for a multitude of reasons, right? So coming from a licensed care model, I'm getting all of my referrals from, in California, they're called the regional centers. In other states, they're called CSBs, so community service boards. And so I like to work with the social workers and case managers who provide that additional level and layer of case management. So for example, if there's friction going on in the home between, myself, the other residents, particularly the individual, maybe their families, I don't have to, specifically just work it out with them. We have that extra layer of support to help us, okay? So one, case management. So working with the Medi-Cal funded outpatient treatment centers, you're getting the case management. Two, referral source, okay? So I'm not spending any money on marketing. Yes, I do have a website that I sent to them that, I created. It was no big deal, but, I'm not spending ads, Google ads in order to get the home filled. We are getting all of our referrals from these outpatient treatment centers, right? So if you think about where where our home sits in someone's continuum of care, where, when they're dealing with addiction. So first, they will go to intensive, detox treatment. From there, they will go to inpatient treatment, inpatient residential treatment. And then they will live in a transitional living home like this one while receiving outpatient treatment services. And so what's nice is that all these individuals who are receiving inpatient treatment, we're the next step. And so if I just create the referral relationships with these treatment centers, then they're going to send us the referrals because they know that we're a partner, and this is going to be sort of their next step. So that's the next reason. So one was case management, two was a referral source, three is that these Medi-Cal funded treatment centers hold budget to pay service providers to open up these kinds of homes. And so for the first 3 months, when these treatment centers will refer their patients to our home, they will be the ones funding it. So, now I'm not having to worry about people defaulting on their rent payments. We're actually going to be getting paid through these outpatient treatment centers, like how it works with the regional centers. We get paid through the regional centers. I just prefer to do it that way. I don't want to have to go and try and collect. This is an 8-bedroom home. There's going to be 16 people living here every month. I don't want to have to try and chase down 16 people, chasing them down for their rent payment. And so we're going to be getting paid all of that through these outpatient treatment centers, and the Medi-Cal funded rates are higher. So rather than $800 per individual per month, we're getting $1,200 per individual per month. Okay. So that is, that's my strategy about going to get this home, filled. So I hope you can see why we turn this into a sober living home versus a licensed care facility. And I hope you can see why we are targeting the Medi-Cal funded treatment centers to, get the home filled. Okay, guys, that's pretty much my strategy when it comes to opening up a sober living home, a non-licensed sober living home. So if you have any questions, drop them in the comments, and if we receive enough, then I will go ahead and make a Q&A video around opening up a sober living home. What are some of the house rules, the intake procedures, so on and so forth. Honestly, guys, this is just me showing you, a day in the life of an operator in the business when it comes to sober living, non-licensed group homes. I got nothing to sell you. Really, I'm just giving you free game so that you can take it and apply it to yourself. This home's, it's not rocket science to get stood up. Way easier implementation wise to get this sort of model stood up than a licensed care facility. However, we're going to see how it plays out, because this home is going to make $21,000 a month with 16 people, whereas with 4 people in my licensed care facility, we make like $51,000 a month. So it's 4 times the people and 3 times less the amount of money with this kind of model. However, the margins, when it's all said and done, this home's probably going to cash flow about $10,000 a month, whereas my other home cash flows with 4 individuals about $15,000 a month. But this model was easier to get stood up, less barriers to entry, and yeah. So again, if you have any questions, just drop them in the comments. I can make a video in regards to it, but you're just seeing another video of a day in the life, 24 years old, real operator, really doing this, really building my business, and I'll see you in the next video.